the princess with blue eyes who possessed spiritual magic. The night she was born, the wind stopped. Not slowed, not softened, stopped. The torches lining the palace walls stood still, their flames frozen in place as though time itself had paused to witness what was coming. High above the cliffs of Ilarion, thunder rolled across the sea. The kingdom had seen storms before. It had seen war, famine, betrayal, and blood. But never had the skies looked the way they did that night. Blue lightning split the clouds, and inside the royal chamber, Queen Seraphine screamed as the midwives rushed around her. No one in that room could have imagined that the child about to take her first breath would one day become the most feared and most misunderstood woman in the history of the kingdom. Because this was not just the story of a princess. This was the story of a prophecy, a betrayal, a kingdom built on secrets, and a girl whose eyes held a power ancient enough to bring empires to their knees. For years, people whispered her name in fear. Some called her blessed, others called her cursed. But the truth? The truth was far stranger than anyone could have imagined, because the very thing they feared in her was the only thing that could save them. Stay with me, because what happened to the princess with blue eyes will change everything you thought you knew about power, destiny, and fear. The kingdom before her. Long before the princess was born, Ilarion was known as the kingdom that could not fall. Built atop sea cliffs and surrounded by silver forests, it was a place of beauty and discipline. Marble towers rose into the clouds. Markets overflowed with silk, spices, and gold. Soldiers stood at every gate in polished armor. To outsiders, Ilarion looked perfect. But beneath that perfection was something older, something hidden. The people of Ilarion believed deeply in signs. Omens shaped weddings, harvests, wars, even coronations. Every eclipse, every comet, every strange dream was recorded in the royal archives. And for centuries, one prophecy had remained sealed. Locked beneath the palace in a chamber only the king, the high priest, and the queen were permitted to enter. It spoke of a child born under a blue moon, a child with eyes like the sea, a child who would either restore what had been broken or awaken what had been buried. King Alaric knew the prophecy, but like every ruler before him, he dismissed it as myth. Until the signs began. First came the blue moon. Then the palace birds stopped singing. Then the sea pulled back from the shore for nearly an hour before crashing forward again in a wave so violent it shattered harbor walls. The kingdom was terrified, and in the middle of it all, Queen Seraphine went into labor. The birth of the princess. The room was silent when she arrived. No newborn cry, no movement. The midwives exchanged fearful glances. The queen, pale and exhausted, reached for her child. And then it happened. The baby opened her eyes. Bright blue, not ordinary blue. They glowed, softly at first, like moonlight on water, then stronger. The room flooded with pale light. Candles reignited on their own. The queen gasped. One midwife dropped to her knees and began to pray. Another fled the room in terror. The baby let out her first cry, and outside, the storm vanished. Just like that, as if the sky itself had been waiting for her. They named her Princess Illyra. For the first few years, she was everything the kingdom hoped for. Gentle, curious, kind. She laughed often. She loved climbing the castle towers to watch the sea. She would sneak into the kitchens to share pastries with servants. And everywhere she went, strange things followed. Flowers bloomed where she walked barefoot. Wounded birds healed in her hands. Rain stopped when she cried. At first, people celebrated her. They called her the Moonchild, the blessed daughter. The kingdom adored her. But admiration has a dark twin, fear. And fear was already beginning to spread. The prophecy returns. When Illyra turned 12, the high priest Malvek requested a private audience with the king. Malvek had served the royal court for over 3 decades. He was respected, feared, and known for never speaking unless absolutely necessary. That night, he entered the throne room carrying an ancient scroll wrapped in black cloth. King Alaric immediately recognized it. The sealed prophecy. Malvek's face was pale. He had been studying celestial movements, temple records, and energy disturbances beneath the castle. And what he found terrified him. The seal beneath Ilarion was weakening. Centuries ago, before the kingdom existed, a dark force had nearly destroyed the realm. It was not a monster, not a beast. It was an energy born from greed, betrayal, and bloodshed. The first rulers of Illyrian had trapped it beneath the palace and sworn never to speak of it again. But the prophecy warned that one day, a child with ocean eyes would awaken its prison. The king was furious. He refused to believe his daughter could be tied to something evil. But Malvek was relentless. He warned that Illyria's power was growing too quickly, and if left unchecked, she could destroy everything. The queen defended her daughter. She insisted Illyria was good. That power did not make someone dangerous. But doubt had already taken root in the king's heart. And doubt, in a palace full of secrets,